tell you that I think I lost my way? I know you're there behind the mirror, but the cracks they begin to show.
Hello and welcome to round number 5, the halfway point of the Anti-Stall Racing TCR series. Today we're at Lime Rock Park for a very quick set of races. Under a minute this circuit is, not many turns, lots of long, well, I would say long straights. There's a lot less braking than you would think, especially in these cars. The last turn, not really a braking zone, you sort of dab it and go. The long straight into turn 1. It should be some great racing. Under a minute for each. 2 races of 15 minutes. Of course, one reverse, second one with the top 8. And we are halfway through the season. This should be great. Qualifying should be close. Should be some great racing. It's a very different circuit to the one we were at last week of Silverstone International. I can assure you that. A lot tighter around here. And, well, it's a lot shorter. I'm always joined by Paulo. Hello, Paulo.
Oh,
As you get on, I'll just get the championship standings on the screen as we enter into qualifying in just about now. So Brandon does have a healthy lead. They're going to disappear and come back. Lovely, they come back. So yeah, Brandon does have quite a healthy lead coming into this round. I see he has joined. Didn't do too much practice, but we'll see where he ends up in qualifying. Yeah, has a healthy lead of 72 points coming into this round. Is extremely close behind him, with Marcelo just ahead of P3, and it's close for P5 as well, as they're joint on points, but it's close all down the field.
so is everyone excited for this race? Lime Rock?
I very much am. These curbs might be a slight issue. They were spoken about in the briefing, but I'm sure everything will go perfectly fine.
Yeah, I can expect a car to brake on that curb on the chicane. At least it does with certain cars like the Mazda. Touring car probably too. As we will see during the race or even during qualifying if someone does a mistake like that.
There's some weird reason having slight issues with the overlay. Apparently it's not being found, so we'll just try pressing a few buttons and it might come back, but luckily no one's put any lap times in, so we're not missing anything just yet. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. Oh, it's I think it's on the stream, luckily, but I'm not having them, which is weird. So yeah, all the boxes are up on the screen, but not on mine. But I'm sure I will sort that other thing my end then, clearly, which is an interesting one.
It's a short track. A really short track compared to the others we've had so far.
Yeah, very short circuit. Only about a 56, 57 second lap, I think they were doing in practice.
Yes. We see, maybe we have some blue flag situations this time. It's very possible because it is a short track. And you can gain really a lot of speed on these cars straight parts.
Yeah, a lot of slipstream might be key.
Is the car's livery okay? Because once you show me it's on white, but yeah, the stream is also white.
Yeah, I think that's definitely mine. I'm just gonna reset a few things as from practice to qualifying, something's gone wrong on my end. Everything should be loading in, but for some weird reason the it's not coming up with the overlay on my end. Oh no. So we're a few buttons, hopefully it will pop back up, but should be all good on the stream. And of course, I think they're saying in this the race control, from what I can see, that car 516, I think, can't take part in qualifying due to having too many penalty points.
Oh, yes. But that's just for, thankfully for him, just a race 1. On race 2, he can do.
Absolutely.
Not qualifying, but he starts from, the position that he finished, basically, on race 1.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, apparently I'm not going to have the overlay for some weird reason on my screen today. It's on the stream, but I don't know how it's managed to do this, but it's...
Yeah.
It's done it for me.
Does that mean you need to know who is driving just based on the livery?
Yep, that's going to be the fun one for me, to know everything just by the screen. I think what we can see on your screen at the moment is Jake and Brandon. But yeah, I don't know why it's done this for me. It's kind of annoying that it has. And I'm not seeming to be able to bring it back. Kind of frustrating, but... Who's top at the moment? Brandon is top, just about. I can continue to try and fiddle about to figure out why. I can see in the top left of my screen that it's a 404, I think, just error. I mean, it isn't found, so maybe if I can. No, it's still fine on the stream. It reset on the stream, but it didn't for me. It does not like me. Is I'm finding. Qualifying is continuing on anyway. See if we can that screen over, and I guess we'll be doing it like this today. Let's see what we can see. Who's on where? Aiden's just gone P4. His liveries doesn't seem to have updated. He is now part of the No Limits Sim Racing team, but his livery here hasn't updated. But he is in P4 at the moment. Now drops down to P5 as Andrea goes into P2.
I don't think they have a livery for the car, possibly.
Oh yes,
Because on my end it's
yeah. Well, I guess yeah. All of the rest of them are in the Elantra. So yeah, maybe just doesn't have one set up for the season, which is a shame for him. But at least, yeah, at least he's got a nice team. There's 19 cars, it would seem, today, which is a good bunch of cars for round number 5, halfway through the season, which we're gonna say probably got a lot during the stream today. Marco is currently in P3. Looks like he's improving.
It's a lot of still retained drivers here, even in mid-season. Usually you see a lot of drop-offs, but we started strong and still continue on. It's good to see. Everyone's still dedicated to the series. Even though it's already a meme, so to say, that every Tuesday it's Brandon's win. You never know. Sometimes it may not be a random win, as we saw in Long Beach Race 2, for example. And it just means that everyone has to work a bit harder to catch Brandon.
Yeah, agreed. They do. They say that down, don't they? They say that every week it's a Brandon, going to be a Brandon win. But yeah, you never know, especially with the reverse grid race, and it's a close circuit and there's not much to it, so it allows the other cars to be a lot closer than, say, they were at the Silverstone International last week. So, let's see, as Aiden goes P3 for now, there's not much difference at the top. I think not much of a gap, as Brandon does just go a little bit quicker. That's the first time I've seen a 55-second lap time, I must admit. And I was in an hour practice session with them all earlier, with a lot of them earlier. So yeah, he has found the extra bit of pace which no one knew existed. But yeah, he has got a 4-10 gap somehow around the circuit, so it's just continuing to show what speed he has.
Look off the sandbags.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, yeah. That is great to see. And a new driver here of Perrin, which has been racing in the GT3s in the IMSA series, but will be joining us today for the TCR series for the No Limits team. So noting that the cars aren't coming up, so I wonder if two things are connected or not, but probably not. He drives around, still good in P10 as Marcelo is now in P6. Has gone wrong on my end. Of course, you can see Stefano not setting a time there in P19 because not allowed. work out what's going on there. We've still got another 5 minutes left of qualifying. But didn't anything either. So, who is where? Anyone improving the mill currently? Going a little bit quicker. Marcelo missed out on a podium in race number 1 at Silverstone after a nice overtake by Marco, which is currently sitting in P7. Good racing there. Nearly lost another one out in the second race, as well as Steve got P2, which is a good best finish of the season for him. Currently sits P4 at the moment with his nice new livery. Let's go have a little look at it. Look at it now. Look at that gorgeous that looks. Very bright colours. Fantastic looking car.
Interesting that Brandon's still improving his lap time because now he's a 10th up of his previous. He's on 55.8. He proved the 10th, so he can still do better at 55s. While no one is even struggling to get close to it.
Not at all. By streaming you, but apparently not, sadly. Steve looking like he likes this circuit. Stephen Fry goes P6, a big improvement for him.
So, as it stands out, everyone is qualified with these times. Is a 105% is 105% of 58.89 is 58.694, and even Kevin Burke is inside that gap. Very closely by like 10 hundredths of a second. Unless, Bradley can somehow even squeeze more time from him, everyone's qualified.
Good to see Steve goes P2. I wonder if Brandon does have anything else in the tank. Comes to the line now. Does have a purple sector too, but the rest are yellow. And doesn't look like he did, so almost saves Kevin from almost being eliminated from the race, but he's in P18. Kevin in the purple car currently sits in the pits. Could get out and do a few more as the track's not very big, so you'd have to be out there constantly, which is always a good thing. Still not able to work out what's going on with my overlay. It was constantly working for the past 2 hours until the moment when, well, it was working even when we went live, so I really don't know what's gone with it, but something's gone wrong and it says it's not found, so there's not a clue what's not been found as we follow car number 33 of Stephen heading off the road very slowly. Not many walls around here, so you got a little bit of a leeway to get away with a few incidents. So actually, I saw an incident earlier where a car went across the grass and came back out the other side, and it was a bit of a wheezy moment, so that could be almost a concern there, the lack of walls, but I'm sure the drivers don't mind. There is almost walls on the chicane, though. They're not real walls, but they will damage your car if you hit them hard enough.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Honestly, it is hard to notice who is the driver of the car just by looking at the
Yes. Yeah, we're having to lose the stream today because I don't know what's going on really at all. It just in the bottom, top left of my screen, I just see the link that is running that I'm using for the stream, and just says not found under it for some weird reason. And I have turned it off and on, and that's Paulo really off the road and hitting the wall, and the broken guy won't want to do that during the races. He was going to be one of the only ones left to put a time in. Does everybody else come around and get it in time? Andrea's off the road. He's not going to improve. Maybe Ferran comes to the line. Yeah, he should get there in time. He will get there in time. Does he improve from P12? I'm going to say it was a no. Anybody else getting close enough to a time? It doesn't look like anybody's going to do it. Brandon did improve by a couple of hundreds, but he stays pole. It doesn't really change anything for anyone else. Does Jaden get to the line in time? He does. And he stays P15. This could be very difficult for us to work out exactly what's going on. On the stream, luckily, you'll have all the information, but we won't, so you'll be more knowledgeable than us. I could put the I will put the grid up, but the funny part is we're not going to be able to see it, so this is going to be just for you guys at home. I will go through the grid, but I'll tell you who's there because I physically can't see it. Roll through.
Show the standings? Okay. You want me to say it?
If you can see it, then yes, please.
Okay. So Brandon P1, Steve Haywood P2, Lemuel P3, Andrea Romy P4, Aiden Young P5, Stephen Fry P6, Marcel Reales P7, Marco Benatelli P8, Jake Unstead P9, Marco Giranti P10, Massimo P11, Ferran P12, Robert P13, Dario Raffetta P14, Jaden is P15, Paulo is P16, Peter Greenwood P17, and Kevin Burke in P18. Stefano, because of the quali ban, he starts from still in the grid but P19.
So the cars aren't working either for some weird reason. Something's gone wrong where we can't show you liveries on the screen as well. Something's gone sadly quite wrong there. That
Yeah, it's just the avatar they have.
Here we go then. The lights should be coming on. It'd be quite fun for us to try and watch. I've got a little screen to probably try and watch it from, but here we go. Race number 1 is go. Who gets the best start? Stephen Midley comes over the cover, P3 of the mill. Brandon sort of moves about a little bit, but into turn 1 he goes, and he is ahead. How's the rest of the pack? Single file almost immediately. Marco is up from P10. Well, I'd say he was up, but he's not up really. There's a few movers about. Place, I think he's being passed now by Jake, so it's the midfield where it's a bit pack racing. That's Marco, which is just ahead of Jake, but everywhere else seems to stay single file. Robert slots in just behind. There's a few movers. Aiden's lost, I think, a few places further forward, but the top 3 stay as they were as they hit the chicane for the first time, and a bit of a bumping there, and that's Stephen over the curbs. And he's actually made a few places up during the first couple of corners. So everybody has made it through. I think we're going to make it through. Ray, lap number 1 for the first time, all cleanly, which is good to see. A bit wide there from Jake and P8. Aiden's past Peter, I think, in the background, as just in the background we see there. And Jake's lost another place to Massimo. And behind Marco having a little look, but not able to do anything into turn 1 for the first time. So Brandon leads after lap number 1. He's got a bit of a gap back to Steve. But they're all forming a train behind him. Stefano managed to make 1 place up on lap 1 as well. Managed to get Kevin. I think he actually ended up having to start from the pits, did Stefano. That's why taking a little while. There's the train forming. Andre in the middle there. Be a bit careful in the braking zone. Only really big heavy braking zone is into that chicane. So it reckons we should get 14 laps apparently out of this race. Now it should be almost like pack racing with some slipstream here, I think. We see the long trains as Marcelo may have a little run here at Steven. Steven defends the inside. Long way round to go there. Marcelo cut back almost. Yes, he got up the inside for the second part of turn 1. He's alongside now. Steven will have the inside for the next corner. If he's still there, he has got a bumper there. Do they touch? I think they do touch, but Steven was still there. And onto the grass goes Marcelo. And it's very slippery. And he'll eventually get back to the road, but he's going to drop a long, long way down the queue. The stewards will look, but Steven had his bumper still there. So I feel like they will just go down as a racing one, and that's a long way back from Marcelo now. He has got 13 minutes to do so, but it's going to be a hard one. What would you say on that one, Paulo? Would you agree that that was nothing really done wrong there by Steven?
It's a tough decision to make. I didn't really pay attention to that particular incident because I was looking at what was happening behind. But, well, it's the stewards to know what he can, if there's a penalty involved. But Marcel still now has a big number of cars to overtake to get back to P6 that he was. Now he is in P13.
I know the P30. A lot of racing happening just ahead of him here, which is between Varane, Marco, Robert, and another Marco. Of course, 2 Marcos. One's in the, well, blackish white car, and one is in this gold and black car. It's fun to work out, but they go through the chicane once again. Yeah, still 3 wide down the main straight there as well. It was quite exciting, but everyone got through nicely. Not too much of a wide circuit, but good to see you can run 3 wide as Aiden looks to get past Stefan for P number 5 through the last turn, as the gap has broken up a little bit after the incident on that last lap. The top lot spreading out a bit as Aiden move not done just yet. Steven's still there, but I think Aiden will now be through as no further investigation, as it was netcode in the end decided by the steward, and Aiden is through. Good to see that at least the stream is still working. You can still steal the information there, because it's at least we've got that, because I don't actually need it too much as long as I can just work out what the gaps are, as Marcelo will now be on the run to try and get up through the field. He's on the back of front already. Oh, massive hit on the curbs there, massive hit. They do suspension damage, so it is a thing to look out for during this race and the next one, to see if they can all survive hitting those curbs heavily. Damage will be expected if you hit them too often. Brandon setting fast laps. He's got this one covered. Don't worry about the win. It's not about that. As wide goes a few cars. Marcelo ends up in the pits, and somebody's off in the background, and it's Dario, I think, that's hit the wall. And it is. And Marcelo's ended up in the pits, which was strange to see, as the car in front of him went wide, as Paulo loses a place to Stefan as well. I think it was Marco that actually went wide initially. It was. He got passed by Stefan. I'm not sure why Marcelo's ended up in the pits. He's done a quick repair, so I wonder if there was some damage somewhere for him then.
Yeah, that was strange. It looked like the car was still running with the pack ahead of him.
Yeah.
And to pit even on a 15-minute race is, sure, the pit is, small enough, but you do still lose a lot from pitting your car.
He must have felt something. We said about the hitting the curves can cause some damage. Maybe that on that lap there, he hit the curb too hard and just decided to pit, because that was the time to make a pass on the cars ahead as they all went wide, and another car in the background going slightly wide, and that's Farah this time making a slight mistake. So yeah, must have felt something on the suspension, decided to do his quick repair. Well, he was already down in the places, but now he's down in 19th, and I said his race is a long one to go, and now it's even longer, sitting in P19 with a couple seconds off P18. So
is P17. He is still ahead of other cars. Oh, no, sorry, it didn't update, that's why. Some cars just crossed the line, that's why I couldn't see it.
Yes.
But he's now a long way behind even the top 8, which you just need to be around the top 8 just to get for the race too. But
yeah, he could have got it from where he was before, but now he's put it definitely not. He is second in the championship too, so in danger of losing that spot to currently the driver who's sitting P3 is third in the standings. So
yes, done well, yeah.
Yeah, so at the moment he might even lose second. Brandon, of course, difficult to catch anyway, but his championship advantage will continue to grow at the moment, especially now with Marcelo further back, and he has just passed Kevin for P18, so there's another place. I think that might only be an extra point. Andre is still fighting for a podium as well. And Steve, after getting a podium last time out in the reverse grid race, now in race 1, sitting comfortably, you'll say, in P2. So what a turnaround a week is. Doesn't need the reverse grid this week, does he? He's just there on pure speed and pace alone, which is good to see, and a nice new livery as well. And it's always nice to see new liveries even during halfway through the season, but it's good to see the improvement. And depending on the circuit, massive difference between the circuits, of course, but good to see drivers, reacting well to the different circuits that we have on this calendar. We've been to Long Beach, we've been here now, we've been to Silverstone International, we've been everywhere already this season, and of course more diverse tracks still to cover. Stefano is now on the back of Marco. Where is he? There he is. He's actually passing Marco there for P12. Stefano from back of the grid in P19 up to P12. So maybe top 8. How long we got left? Oh, he could get there. We're only about halfway through.
Oh, about 3 seconds to catch P8. No, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. It could be done. Stefan does have a bit of a pace in him. He should be able to do it. The top 8 themselves are super quick, but with a bit of slipstream, you can always catch the car ahead because the straights are long enough for these cars to take advantage. It's just a matter of where to pass. It has to be in the straight because of the chicane. You don't see anyone going too wide on chicane this time. No one wants to risk it.
No, definitely not. Lots of that from Brandon on that one.
You can see just a little bit of a look.
Yeah, just thinking about it. Not able to do anything, but just thinking. Just letting him know he's there. This is the battle for P8 because Jake is the leader here of it. So you can see lots of fighting here because this is pole for race 2. This is almost, if you're not going to get in the top 3, this is the position you want. So it's going to be a big fight for the rest of the race for this one. Really close there by Robert and Marco just behind, almost touching. I think they did touch going into the chicane there that time round. Marcelo's made his way up to P17 now. That might be as far as he ends up getting. Is the closest battle on the field as there's 2 no limits sim racing, and there's the defense from Jake. Not the best exit of the last turn. Marco will go to the outside. Robert's going to be looking any which way he can as well. Marco to the outside. He's almost through into the turn 1, but on the exit of turn 1, Jake's back ahead. He's still going to be there. He'll be there. He'll have the inside. He's alongside. He's through. He's got to fit back in as Jake, otherwise Robert will come through as well. Marco's through. Now Robert's on the outside of Jake, and I'd say that Robert is past Jake as well. Jake loses 2 places. Well, a few corners there. Out of the top 8 he goes and into P10. Now he's got his teammate Ferran behind him as well.
Yeah, and Stefan is loving it, that's for sure. Look at how close he got now. He can pass all these cars. But in 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes or so.
I think we've lost Dario. Or, no, I don't think we lost him, but I think Dario's had a moment to further back and drop down to P17. It's here, the teammates. What do you do now? Do you let Ferran through after you just watched Jake get passed by 2 other cars? And that's a yes, but Stefan's going to go through as well. Sorry, not Stefan. Oh, he is. Stefano, he is through. Jake's not going to be able to close that door. And yeah, he's had to settle. And now Stefano, does he know? He doesn't know to pass another car. But Jake now lost 4 positions in the space of 2 laps. He's not going to be too happy with that. And out of the top 10, he falls into P12. I wonder if there's damage to the suspension on that car. Because he has dropped a lot of time, you can see. He's got 4 positions and a bit of time. And he's also got Marco probably soon will catch him up as well. So I do wonder. We saw Marcelo pit earlier with some damage. I wonder if the same has happened to Jake. Defense here from Stefano already. Stefano is going to try attacking now to the outside of turn number 1. It's going to be the long way around if he does it. This is for P10. He's ahead, then he's not ahead. But if he can just stay there, have the inside for the turn number 2. He's still there. He's alongside. He's been given just enough room. Now he's going to be back on the outside again. He needs to get the run here. He's going to get a better exit. And if he can just come across in time. And he is through into P number 10. Good move. Good racing between the three of them. Do they touch? No, it's extremely cool. That's a lot of curb. Oof. Oof. Oh, I wonder if anyone got damaged there. I think Stefano got the most lucky there. When he went over the second one, I thought he might be a goner, but no, he didn't jump up at all. Marco now on the back. Oh, well, so Stefano's Jake's gone back through, so not sure what's happened there, but he did take a big hit to the curb. Oh, a little bit of a slide from the rear end as well. Marco is through. Lots and lots of racing here for the top 10 positions. At the moment in P8 is Marco. He'll be the one on pole for race number 2. He's got Robert still behind him. Hasn't changed at the top as Jake drops a couple of places because he's ended up off the road. Let's have a look and see if we can find how that ended up happening. Did he fall off the road or was he pushed off the road? Let's have a little look. What happened to Jake? Oh, he locks the rears. Locks the rears and it's just a long way once you're off the road and it's just... Oh, it's helpless because the road's just there to your right. He's not able to get back to it.
Still a battle for P2. They were super close, but now they gained a bit of distance, and they're actually getting closer to it. Again, look at that. Still not over for even the final positions, top positions.
Yeah.
Always a battle somewhere.
Yeah, especially in the touring cars, there's always a battle somewhere. Brandon may be 10 seconds up the road now, but Robert's actually passed Marco for P8 and pole for race 2, so he's got through, so they've changed positions there as we were watching the battle for top 2 and the 3rd place as well. It's changing everywhere.
Last lap.
Last lap are we on, are we?
Yep, it went quickly.
Brandon will be coming across the line to start the final one. Yeah, well, just about, yeah, just on the final one now. Well, actually, he might be close, but I do think you'll be right in the end. It will be a close one, but Steve still keeps P2. He's hoping it's definitely the final lap because he can't deal with this pressure too much longer. Marcelo has caught up to the back of Jaden for P15. Not sure if he's going to get through. He does get through for P15, as I said. So Marcelo's managed to salvage a top 15 finish out of this one. Kevin, sadly not finishing race number 1. Must have had an incident that we didn't see. All smooth for the top 4 through the chicane for the first time. Actually caught up to Brandon a little bit on this lap because Brandon's slightly slowed, but he comes around the last turn and he's going to win race number 1 today. He'll be happy with that. That's the biggest margin he's won by this season. Arguably the smallest circuit as well. Steve will be happy with a P2. It's 2 P2s in a row. Lemille will take P3. Andrea just misses out on a podium. Aiden Young should be happy with a P5 finish. Stephen will be happy with a P6, I believe, as well. And it's going to be close here. Massimo will take P7. P8, which will be pole for race 2 for Robert. Marco just misses out on P8. Stefano from the back of the grid takes P10. It's a good race for him. Marco will take P11. Ferran on his debut takes P12. Some good racing for him. Jake going off the road, P13. Paulo, P14 in the end. Marcelo had a bit of a horrible time with it, but will take P15. Jaden takes P16. And Dario, we think, had an excursion at some point off the road, and he will take P17. There's some good racing this time. He's that far ahead that we just watched Dario finish the race as into the pits goes Brandon. That's how far ahead he was. Let's get the results from Heat 1 on the screen. Just apparently we're going to show that one. We want that. And that is the race results from race. There is warm up for about 30 seconds just for us to catch our breath. Yeah. Good race. Yes, if you can see it, yeah, please.
Okay, so Brandon with a 9.5 seconds lead to P2, which was from Steve Halewood. Manuel Mironi was in P3, Andrea Romy P4, Aiden Young in P5, Stephen Fry in P6. Interesting to see that the top 6 that started also finished in the same positions, even though they did switch some positions during the race. P7 is from Massimo Robert, went all the way from P13 to P8. Marco went in P9. Stefano from the pit to P10. Another Marco Garanti in P11. Just switched. Ferran in P12, Jake and Steph to P13, Paulo in P14, Marcelo, which started in P7, had to go to the pits because probably damaged, finished in P15, Jaden in P16, Dario in P17, Peter Primo in P18, and Kevin Berg in P19. As we now see, the top 8 inverted for the race number 2, which makes Robert on pole position.
Yeah, Robert on pole in the orange car there. Let's see what he can do from there. Here we go. For race number 2. Who gets the best start? It's green. There's a lot of wheel spin for Robert, but you almost saw him clutch kick there. He gets a good start away. It's behind him. That will be the drama. Brandon is driving around the outside of a few cars to see how brave he ends up being as we go into turn 1 for the first time. Is he back out of there? He's around the outside. Yeah, he thought he would. Smart move. Right, side by side, up ahead. Through, I think, goes Massimo into P3, just ahead of Andre. As the top lot goes single file already. How is everybody further back the grid? And it does seem like it's single file, which is a good start as they go to the chicane for the first time. It was a good start from Robert now. Everyone does the accordion effect, but Marshmallow Salo has had to go over a couple of curbs. Has he got away with it? There's technically a crash in the background with Dario, but I think that's just everybody having to stop. And I think there has been a crash between 2. Marcelo's had a horrible day at the office and has ended up in the wall of the car. It's wheel spinning, so let's have a look. I can't seem to find anything. I can. Here we go. Marcelo and Stefano, I think, are the ones that end up crashing. They're door to door here. Are they going to go behind a tree? Over the curb.
Both curves, so it completely... if it wasn't the curves, of course it's going to be the wall that completely destroyed his car.
That's what's happened there, and you could... he said in the driver's briefing earlier that the big curbs, big sausage curbs, do not count as part of the track, so you have to give that well a car's width, and then that doesn't count if you force another driver onto that. So let's see what they say between those two. But yeah, Stefano I think keeps going, but Marcelo in the pits, and I think possibly out of this one as Andrea is in P3 now, up ahead of Massimo. So that's what's changed at the front. Stefan, oh sorry, Stephen and Robert going away in P1. I think it's not been easy for Brandon to get through. He hasn't. He's still P8 after... We're on to lap 2 now, so that's taken a little bit longer than normal. And there's a few moves up ahead. Lemuel goes up into P4, so he's from P7 to P4 already. So he's made some good ground going through the order. As Steve just ahead of Aiden and then Brandon there. Ferran's had it off on turn 1. I don't know if he's had a helping hand or he's just gone off on his own, but it's easily done if he has. Or let's have a look. See if I can see anything. There's a bit of movement there. Brandon up the inside of Aiden Young. Aiden Young gives him loads of room. And through he goes. I think that might even give Marco a run. It does give Marco a run on Aiden. And up the inside and through here go there. Oh, it's not actually done. I thought that'd be a bit easier than it was. They're still side by side through the corner. They're side by side through the next one as well. Aiden has a little bit of a moment, and that now should surely be Marco's. And it is before the line. Now, I'll try and see if I can find out if any help was given to Ferran or not. It just says to me that he went off. I think he may have been alongside with his teammate. There has been a crash as well for Jaden, so he's out of this race. We'll go very close to the lead there, just up ahead between Robert and Stephen. So I'll have a little look at that. A little bit of flashing lights from Stephen to Robert. If there's no move into the corner, we may go and have a little look. Steve defends heavily. I think they're Brandon behind. Heavy defending. Stays ahead of him for now. We'll quickly go have a look at the Jaden crash. See what happens to Jaden. Does he just get tag teamed here, or was it just an unfortunate turn of events? And he's been... Yeah, there's a car there to his right. He's going to eventually find the wall as well. And yeah, now facing the wrong way. So that's Jaden's race done. And sure that one will be for the stewards. Let's see what happens to Frown then. Does he lock the brakes? Goes around the outside? Yeah, locks the brakes and off the road he goes. And again, a long way back.
You saw this before.
Yeah, we've seen this one before. It's a long way back to the track once you're off there. And Aiden is back past Marcelo. And up ahead, Brandon just continues to put pressure on Steve. Finally now has found the inside for the chicane. But now, can he outbrake him? Yes, he can. Through goes Brandon up to P6. It's taken a little while, but he's done it. 4.5 minutes it took him to get into P6. Now, we've still got 11 minutes to go. Well, 10 minutes to go. About a lot of the drivers up ahead, especially Robert and Stephen, will be hoping that it takes him a while to get through the rest of the field.
Interesting to see. He was really quick on its own, but it's a hard track for him to overtake anyone.
Yeah, I thought maybe this one's a little easier. Stephen defends to Andre behind him. Yeah, I thought it may be an easier track to overtake. Apparently not at all. It's quite difficult, it would seem, here in these cars to get a pass done. But I guess, like you say normally, not that many 90-degree right-handers, is there?
No, not even hard braking points either. You gotta be just soft on this track with the brakes. It's just you know, if you get apart inside of the chicane, sure you can get a little advantage, but then you can do the corner properly. As you see even some drivers just hitting the curbs a bit too much, which upsets the car and loses some speed on the exit. Let's see. It's still some minutes to go for Brandon to even finish ahead of the packet that's ahead of him. Let's see.
Let's see if we can get there. Long train. See the whole top 8 there.
It's already behind someone.
Yeah.
Can he do it?
Don't know if he'll get through there, but Aiden, well, he's got to look. He's getting his nose in. Aiden's past Steve. Steve's actually dropped a few places, and Brandon.
There you go. He did it.
He's just done it, but he is through into P5. That took a little bit, and he was very, very close to the bumpers of each car there. But through he goes. Brandon up there. Steve dropped down to P9. So I'm not sure if he had a bad run out of the last turn, but has dropped part behind Marco and Aiden as the top 3 continue to fight. And now the top 4, and Brandon's trying to join in with this battle. It was extremely close between the two of them. Paulo has ended up going into the pits for a quick repair as well. So everybody, I think, maybe still running in the race. I think Jaden might be out of the race, but everybody else still going. Marcelo ended up getting back to the pits after a tow. Yeah, look how close this top lot are. Look at the screens there in the interview. All of them orange and yellow as Brandon goes to the inside. He's getting defended against the middle. It's close, but Brandon's there, and he's up the inside. And once he's up the inside, he's going to go through. And into P4 goes Brandon. He can see the top 3, and the top 3 aren't exactly trying to drive away. They're squabbling between themselves. God, how long we got left? It's about halfway to go. Will Brandon manage to get to them? He's going to get onto them, but can he get past them? At the moment, he's getting a car a lap.
You look at that exit that he has on the chicane. It helps him so much to get together with the cars ahead of him. As he can now have the big slipstream on the main straight, but the cars ahead of him also have slipstream, which makes him be harder to close up. But just about the perfect exit, as we can see here, already going on the inside. Can he stick it? Can the car give him any space on the inside?
No. I thought...
this time it worked.
Yeah, I thought he had that halfway down the straight, but no, Andre managed to get back ahead into the braking zone, so well done to him, and keeps him behind for now. There is a few penalties there. Penalty for 5 seconds for the car. 516. There was a 10 seconds for another car. Brandon onto the grass he goes. Immediately, every time on the exit of the corners, he's looking for a way alongside, not able to get it there. He is not touching any of those curbs either. This could be a close finish and some close racing. These top 3 at the moment don't get podiums too often. Andre's always knocking on the door. I think he's got a few this season, but they want to stay in the top 3 at the moment, and Brandon just wants to get another win. There's a lot of grass used by Andre there. He's going to stay ahead for now unless Brandon does some sort of late lunge, but I think it should be fine. Another turn 1 negotiated ahead. They're not dropping the cars behind either. Lemul can get back into this. In P5 there, he's not far off as Marco drops behind. Marco, just to confuse everyone, actually, Marco I think has ended up off the road as he continues to drop positions. And now the run, possibly. He's on the wrong side of him. He switches to the inside. He might have it now. I think he's not going to get alongside enough, and he does back out. Oh, he hit the curb nasty there as well. He doesn't have the best exit. Andre's had a good one. Andre's got alongside Steven. It's Steven's problem now. Andre's up to P2.
Now that's how you take an advantage of an opportunity. Well done for Andrea there. And now you can actually get some breathing room from Brandon that was seeming too close to him.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to get past into the corner. Ends up passing another car. Now it's Steven's problem to keep Brandon behind. It's fast to parcel. Who can defend from Brandon?
Brandon is never going to attempt to do that one on the outside, even though you could get an advantage from the next corner. It's just, on this car, it doesn't see so much that you have to always go on the inside. At least on long corners like this. As you can see, Pavi's going to try it now, or he's just going to back out like he always does.
Yeah, back out, not alongside. Just gives him a think about it. He's got a good exit here.
And they touch.
Yeah, definitely. Don't think he was going to get through. He got a better exit, but Steven keeps him behind for now. They're dropping off the top 2. Andrea is trying to absolutely run away from Brandon here. But he's got Robert ahead of him, not able to do so. I'm surprised Lemul's not been able to manage to really make any end rows. And here he's still on the grass. Brandon's up the inside. This one surely is a done deal for third this time round.
It is. It is. He done it. He's definitely done it. He outbraked Steven this time.
And it's changing nearly for the lead. Robert's defending from Andre ahead. So immediately Brandon's involved in the fight for the lead within a couple of seconds of getting into third because these two were too busy fighting. And now Andre has to defend again to Brandon. He thought he had got away from him, but no. A couple minutes later, up the inside goes the Mall, and he's past Steven. It's a good move while they're still side by side. There's a bit of contact between the two of them. Maybe it's not the best in the end.
Not straight from the end.
Steven's actually lost a place to Massimo as well, so that will be looked at by the stewards. I thought maybe he'd got him, but as they turned in, they touched the sides of each other's car, and they seemed to get locked together, and they both basically ended off the road. But Brandon had a bad exit, so that was probably a good chance one of them to try and get through. As you can see, Andrea's got a bit of a gap, so a lot happened there, and I think it's unfortunate because that's almost saved Brandon from losing position between the cars behind fighting. Steven, of course, has dropped down to P6, and he might feel a bit hard done by there as well. As they go through again. On the limit, Massimo now on the back of his teammate. Which again, at the moment, Marcelo's had a horrible day. I think Marcelo is out of this one. He's had an absolute horrible day, and that means P2 will probably change in the standings, and it'll probably go to Lemul after this one. So, yeah, horrible day for Marcelo. He's going to want to forget at Lime Rock Park after this one, I'm sure. Now, bit of movement further back. I don't think there's any movement at the front. Slight bit of movement further back. Anybody else close at all? Steve on the back of Aiden. He's round the outside of Aiden, actually. And it's going to be the long way round if he does it. And I don't think he's going to do it. Maybe a cutback. No, he doesn't for now. He stays P8. Got a P2 in race number 1. I'd be happy with that. But it's fallen short a little bit in the reverse grid. Brandon is really on the back of... He's actually on the outside now of Andrea. That's not going to work, surely. And it doesn't. But does he get a good exit is the question. That's what he's looking for, isn't it?
It forced Andrea to do a bit of an error because he used too much of the curves and made the car jump. Now, Brandon's going to get him on the straight because he's super close to him. Or at least getting even closer now, while Robert is keeping a distance and not giving a switch into Andrea. Maybe it worked for Brandon's favor. Let's see.
Yep, there you go. Goes a little defensive, a little bit more. Yep, he picks the inside. That's where he's going to go. Brandon has to go the long way. Can he go the long way?
He's scared this time.
Oh, he's through.
Oh, on the outside too, right before the corner started. So it worked for Brandon, that little going on the outside and chicane.
That is a brilliant move that. He's outbraked him very well there. I thought it'd be a bit harder, but yeah, he's confident on the brakes there, Brandon. Around the outside he's gone, and into P2 he goes. It has taken him the longest time to get there. Now, there's only a few minutes to go. Can he get the win is the question. Just up ahead of him. There is a back marker coming up soon too.
Already close. It's already close. Look at how he got the exits just super close to Robert. But we see a lap car that is from Peter Greenwood ahead.
Will that hinder or help Robert through the last couple of corners? Will it give him a bit of slipstream maybe? No, he's well away.
Yep.
Won't affect this one. We've seen how good Brandon is on the brakes. He's got a couple minutes to think about it. There's a gap. There's no longer a gap now. To the outside he goes. Well, I say he's got time to think about it. It's the last lap. It's all or nothing. Robert will just close the gap. He does close the gap. Brandon's on the edge. Andrea's there too. It's free for the win. Keep the inside covered. He keeps the inside covered. But for how long? It's all about the exits with Brandon. Now, it's the most important exit. Other than this one, maybe. Keep the inside covered. To the inside he goes. They're all going to go to the inside. It's still open. It's closed. Oh, Brandon's lost it. He's got it. He's lost it. Off the road. Oh, he's going to tag Andrea. Andrea's round. That's unfortunate. Andrea will lose a place. A couple of places, sorry, more than one. Brandon's now under absolute attack from everybody, and through goes one of the cars. Two of the cars, maybe. Oh, there's contact. Another one's off. Lamille's off. It's Lamille that's spinning around in the background. He's got back going, round he goes, but Robert will take his first win in the series. He'll be extremely happy with that. It was close. Massimo will take second. Brandon third. There's going to be questions asked. Stephen will get fourth in the end, I think. Andrea will get fifth.
Aggressive. Very aggressive defending. He really wanted to win no matter what.
Jake gets P10 there, just ahead of the middle. That ends up P11. And he's got a front right completely destroyed car. Yeah, absolutely destroyed car. That's unfortunate for him. They all finish crossing the line. Robert will take his first win in the series. He'll be over the moon. It was close. It was really hard defending. He came across to cover him. And that forced Brandon to the outside, which locked the rear brakes, went deep, tried to keep it on the road, which then Andrea went through, tagged Andrea. Andrea went round, then mid-corner, later on the lap. Lamille tagged the side of Brandon as well. That one may go down as a racing one, but the one at the very start, they all go to the stewards, so have fun with that. So the race results probably are quite provisional, but I would say that Robert is safe in the win, and he'll be extremely happy with that one. It was very tight. Thought maybe at the end he might lose it, but he defended hard and defended well. Will he go park it on the line, I wonder? That's a happy P3 as well, or P2 there, Massimo.
Yeah, if Farley was lost after, Andrea and Brandon was ahead of him, but he took the opportunity from there. Little incidents to just go through. He started P2 and finished P2.
Robert, be happy with that. Those are the race results provisionally, of course. Never know what might change after the stewards have had words and had discussions, but the leader won't change. I don't think P2 will change either. They'll be safe. Stephen sits in P4 and he'll be waiting to see what happens, because he'll happily take a podium probably after all of that if it does come down to it. But yep, bad day at the office for Marcelo. A very interesting race, I must say. Robert will be over the moon that he's managed to take his first win of the season. He's only the third driver this season, with the fourth driver to win this season. It's been Damien, Brandon and Dario have all won, and now Robert puts his name in the hat as well.
It's like Brandon's already ready for the interview. Want to see his opinion of that little incident in the end.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure, why not? We'll bring him in quickly. Ask him what he thinks of it. Well, congratulations on the win for the first race, Brandon. But we're going to have to ask about that last lap and quickly what your opinion is on it.
Wow, that was that was quite the race. That was such a fun second race. Can't complain about that. That was pretty awesome. So, yeah, huge congrats to Robert. I tried all I could. I tried to get on his inside there before the chicane, and then he covered, and then I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna like dart left and see if I can get him on the outside because I if I tried diving it on the inside, I don't think I would have been able to give him the room. So I darted to the outside, and it's just so hard to get two cars through there, and did all I could, and there's just a little bit of a bump, but it wasn't his fault. It was just a racing thing. It was just two guys going going for the same real estate on the last lap, and that was a ton of fun. So yeah, like yeah, couldn't really expect him to do anything else. So I got yeah, we touched just a little bit. I got knocked out a little bit wide, and then I think Andrea, we yeah, we hit with netcode. That that sucks because yeah, we had a really great race with him too, and so yeah, luckily there was close to a foot of netcode there, and it just knocked him sideways. Hopefully, okay, he was able to get back going. He lost a few, at least he was able to finish, and then after that it was like really tight race in there with the two Versilia guys, yeah, and and yeah, it looked like car on my inside just popped the curb a little bit. We had made a little bit of contact. He got sideways, but yeah, it was just everybody like we were all going for those positions, and that was a ton of fun. I that was definitely my favorite race of the year so far. That was really, really great.
Yeah, a bit
You seem to
harder.
enjoy more of the race twos than you do the race ones, huh?
Oh, sorry.
You seem to enjoy more the race two than race ones.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like, race two, it was really challenging. Yeah, Lime Rock's a really tough track to pass, and so you really have to take advantage of everything you can get. And yeah, just trying to get one at a time. I was hoping there at the end I'd have something there, but yeah, just didn't quite have enough time to try and make a pass where I wanted to. But yeah, that was so much fun. Everybody did such a great job. Like racing really clean for how tight the track is. That was a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm that was a really great race.
Well, congratulations, of course, on race number 1 and race number 2. Not going exactly your way, but still, you had a lot more fun than race 1. Next week is the Oscherblend circuit. A new one, the circuit in Germany. Do you enjoy that circuit?
Oh, that okay, yeah, I'll have to put some more laps into that one. Yeah, yeah, so yeah, I've done a few laps there, but yeah, I'm not comfortable with it at all. So I'm gonna have to do some practice over the week and get more familiar with it. But yeah, from what I've driven, it's a really great track. Lots of elevation. Got some nice scenery and yeah, a nice combination of corners. So that's
Which
it's gonna be oh, sorry.
which layout are we using? Is it the 90-degree corner? No, it's a Grand Prix. Okay, it's just funny
Okay.
to see if it was the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Dramatic turn 1, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be fun regardless. And yeah, looking forward to it. That was some really great racing today, and yeah, just yeah, put in some laps for next week, and see if we can get familiar with the track, and see if we can have another great race like that. That was some really good stuff.
Alright.
You know what, Wes? I think we should put Brendan always starting from the back.
Yeah, I think we should
He's-
up the reverse grid as well to 10, just to add a few more cars maybe that he has to pass. A little bit harder.
And race one too. Just put him in the back.
Yeah, maybe some ballast. Put some ballast on just his car.
Oh, both. Yeah. Yeah, true.
Might help him out, have more fun as well. So congratulations on today. We'll see you next week, Brandon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, Paulo, fantastic race in race 2. Very, very close. I can't wait for next week. I've just seen a bunch of incident reports have turned up.
See it
I
as
don't know
well.
if you've seen that. Just slowly but surely,
Yeah.
there's about 5 now, and I'm sure that's all
Oh,
from.
it's the same person.
Oh,
It's
is
the
it?
same
Ah,
person.
so I'm sure that's maybe from the last lap, but we'll see. But yeah, should be a good one next week. Good. It's a proper touring car circuit next week, so I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I actually don't know the track. Never. I think I drove it only on project cars too.
Yes, same,
But-
same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I knew the track. So we'll see. I've actually never seen touring cars actually race, except for the disaster that was the turn 1 when it was 90 degrees.
Yes. The commentator screaming about what was it? Whoever designed this circuit should be locked in
Shut the
a dark room and beaten. I think was the quote of that. So yeah, maybe we should put that circuit just for that quote. But yeah, it should be a very good one. I really can't wait for next week. Of course, IMSA next this Thursday. Where are they, Paulo?
It's a Nürburgring Grand Prix layout.
Are you looking forward to it?
Probably. I'm not sure if I'm gonna race it. I will not actually.
You won't. You won't be joining the IMSA. But everybody, do tune in to the IMSA series at the Nürburgring this week. It should be a good hour's worth of racing. Probably not as much fun as that final lap here today. But thank you very much for everyone to watching and joining. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you, Paulo, for joining me today. We'll see you all next week for round number 6 at the Oscarsliden.